Hey guys, I got a little bit bored, so I'm going to make my next video inside of a dog cage. It's real dog cage. This is a real deal right here. I think I'm going to talk about, since my last video was about wrestling, I'm going to have to talk about my second favorite sport. I'm going to have to go NASCAR. My dad has always been a NASCAR fan, and I think the earliest memory I have of NASCAR is when I still lived in Virginia, so within the first 10 years of my life. We were visiting my grandma, and I was out, and my dad was in the den, and I was outside the den playing something, and my dad was sitting in the den, and I hear him go, "Yes!" And I run, and I'm like, "What happened?" And my dad said, "Rusty Wallace spun Jeff Gordon in the pits." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So when we got back to Virginia, my dad bought me a little, a die-cast, little, like this big car of Rusty Wallace, and I was a big Rusty fan. And then I got a little bit older, and I just started deciding, you know, I should start pissing off my parents more. So I became a huge Jeff Gordon fan and hated Rusty. And then, you know, I watched sometimes. I wasn't really a huge fan like he is, but recently, like the last 2 years, me, him, and my aunt and my two cousins have been doing a NASCAR betting thing every year. Like, you pick a driver, and whoever's driver finishes highest wins the point for that week, and whoever has the most points at the end of the year wins like $20 or something. We all put in, I think, $26, and then for the chase we put in 20. But someone's upstairs, it's bothering me. But so I've gotten a lot more into it ever since we started doing this betting thing. I mean, because you really have something to root for then. You know, I root for me, and if I'm not doing too well, I root for my dad, because we don't want the girls to win. That would just be embarrassing, especially in NASCAR. But they always win, so yeah. I think my favorite drivers, well, obviously Kyle Busch. He's like the bad boy of NASCAR. He goes after Junior and Johnson and Carl Edwards, and you know, all the really popular drivers, and he's a real ass and everybody hates him, so you know, he's a lot like me, so I kinda have to like him. And then I kinda like Gordon. I'm a little bit off Gordon. I'm not a big Gordon fan anymore. I think the only real driver I actually like, other than Kyle Busch, is maybe like Casey Kane. I've been liking Casey Kane. I like those drivers that aren't like the top drivers, but they're still pretty good. You know, like Casey Kane and Brian Vickers, Scott Speed. Scott Speed isn't good at all, but I like him. I'm a Vickers fan. It's funny because I was always a big Hendrix Motorsports fan, which was Gordon, Johnson, Vickers, and Kyle Busch at one time, and then Vickers and Kyle both left, and I hated them for leaving Hendrick, and now I hate Hendrick, and I'm a big Kyle and Vickers fan. I guess it's just kind of how life works, you know. You just hate everything, and then you die. So, I don't know, I've never talked about NASCAR while sitting in a cage before. This has been a first-time experience. So that's my opinion on NASCAR. It's going to be a challenge stopping the video while still in the cage. You guys are going to see me open this door. So, yeah, I watch NASCAR. It's not as bad as a lot of people think. I mean, like Formula 1, which is a foreign, like it's pretty much foreign NASCAR. They race different cars. It's just boring because there's not a lot of passing. In NASCAR, there's a lot of action, wrecks, etc. So, I think I'm going to sign off at that point.